a little word about sex post-op. This next question is a hard one to answer. I actually got pregnant. 6 months ago, I had a boob job, and it's time to update you on what's been happening. And to answer some questions, including, do I have any regrets? What was the rest of my recovery process like? Did I experience any complications? Did I lose the feeling in my nipples? Can I still fit my old clothes? How bad are my scars? And what was it like working out after surgery, and what's it like now? First, let's chat about what implants I chose and why I chose them. I have 450cc round silicone implants that are under the muscle on both sides, and they're high profile. It took me years and years to decide if I wanted to go through with this surgery. It was not a decision that was made quickly. The reason for ultimately deciding to have a boob job was that I desperately wanted my body to be in proportion. I have a curvy butt, thighs, and hips, and my top half has always been smaller than my lower half. I have always felt out of proportion. Like my top half and my bottom half of my body don't quite fit together. I have also always struggled with my weight. In my 20s, I desperately needed to lose weight for health reasons. And I thought that maybe in doing so, I might actually end up with a body that's more in proportion. I thought that by losing weight, my butt, thighs, and hips might get smaller, and they would better match my top half of my body. I started following a low-carb, high-fat keto diet, and in doing so, I completely transformed my life and my health. In the process, I lost 20 kilos or 44 pounds, but it didn't change my proportions. Sure, I lost weight all over my body and a lot in my lower body, which I'd hoped, but my boobs and my upper body also got even smaller. I was at my goal weight. I'd reversed all of the health-related issues that I was experiencing from being overweight, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I had always felt that my body was out of proportion. And ultimately, I booked an appointment. When I first met Dr. Klein, he commented that I had the curves and the femininity on my lower body, but my upper body didn't have that same look. The reason I'm sharing this is because I am always hesitant to speak about how I felt towards my body being out of proportion, because I don't want to sound like I was not appreciative for the body that I had, or that I didn't love and value my body pre-surgery. None of that is true. I loved and appreciated my body so much. Speaking to you honestly, I really was curious about having a boob job and whether it might actually make me feel more like me. I went away and I decided that I did want to have this surgery. So for my follow-up consultation, my surgeon asked me to bring along some photos of other women's boobs that would be basically my goal inspo boobs. Although this might seem a little bit weird, hunting for your boob inspo is actually a really important exercise because it allows you to show your surgeon the kind of look that you would like to achieve too, so that they can help guide you to get that desired outcome. My boob inspo was Shani Grimmond. I know I sound really creepy. I would never have known that they were fake boobs, honestly. And that's what I wanted people to look at me and think too. I didn't want people to look at me and instantly go, yeah, those are some fake boobs. When I showed these photos to my surgeon, he measured me, and based on the end result that I wanted to achieve and my own chest cavity wall, he recommended that I have 400 or 450cc silicone implants that were round, under the muscle, and that they would be high profile. His recommendations freaked me out. Like so many of you watching this video right now, I had binge watched pretty much every single YouTube boob job vlog out there. Shani, my boob inspo, and every other girl that I'd watched seemed to have implants that were something 200cc or 300cc. So hearing 400cc, I honestly panicked. A word of warning here. As helpful and as useful as it can be to watch other people's experiences on YouTube, take everything they are doing with a grain of salt. My surgeon knew what my desired end result was. So as scary as it was trusting him, I am so glad that I did. Let's tear into the frequently asked questions. Do I have any regrets? I have 2 regrets. The first regret is freaking out as much as I did pre-surgery. And the second regret, honestly it might sound cheesy, but I regret not doing this sooner. In my earlier vlogs, I openly shared my struggles before surgery, how nervous and stressed out I was about having a boob job. The thing that freaked me out the most was, again, I'd watched so many YouTube videos and everyone's recovery, or at least it felt like everyone's recovery, was the worst thing ever. And I was scared for my recovery that it would also be horrific. Well, it turns out recovery was not at all as bad as I thought it was gonna be. In fact, it was totally fine. And so many of you have commented on that video saying that seeing my experience has actually calmed you down and reassured you that your recovery might also be totally fine too. I wish that I hadn't been sucked into those videos and had freaked out as much as I did. And the reason why I wish that I had just done this sooner is because I didn't anticipate just how much this decision would mean to me. I knew that I always wanted to have a proportional frame, but honestly, I was not desperate to have a boob job. When I woke up from surgery, I remember being in the recovery area and looking down my gown for the first time. And I never expected to feel the sense of relief and happiness that flooded my body. I didn't know how much this would mean to me. Thinking back now to that moment, I remember those emotions and that feeling just like it was yesterday. It felt like my boobs, my implants, had always been there. And it felt like for the first time in my life, I had the body that I was supposed to have. It's so stupid to cry about that because honestly, the happy tears, it was just this instant relief that I felt. And I did wonder pre-surgery if when I saw myself after the surgery, I wouldn't feel like myself, or it would feel like I had foreign objects like strapped to me. But the opposite was true. And now knowing exactly how much this meant to me, I wish that I had done it sooner. It's really hard to explain just how happy and at peace I felt. I never expected to feel that way. What was the rest of my recovery process like? After my 1-month post-op vlog, I stopped filming my recovery journey at that point because I really didn't have anything to update. My recovery was so good, it was perfect, really. This next question is a hard one to answer, and it's whether I experienced any complications. And I guess I kind of did because I actually got pregnant. My surgeon warned me that after surgery, my cycle could be messed up as a result of the anesthesia that I would have during surgery. He suggested that my husband and I use birth control just to be 100% certain that we wouldn't fall pregnant. And did we listen? No. First of all, a little word about sex post-op, because I didn't find any information about this, and it was something I talked to my surgeon about, which 100% you should talk to your surgeon about too. But if you're curious, it's recommended generally that you wait 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. It depends on your surgeon, it depends on your recovery experience, and it depends on how you're feeling after surgery to start having sex again. After we got the all clear from my surgeon, slightly awkward conversation to have, but hey, you know, that's life. And we didn't use birth control. I honestly didn't think that we would get pregnant, but when I got to my last appointment, we were 6 weeks pregnant. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know how this part of our story turns out. And sadly, 8 weeks into our pregnancy, I miscarried. It is totally safe to get pregnant that soon after surgery, and it's actually a lot more common than you think because, as I said, your cycle can be messed up from the anesthesia. So if it is something that you are wanting to avoid, make sure you use birth control just to be 100% safe. My husband and I weren't trying at the time to get pregnant, but it was an amazing surprise, and those 8 weeks were some of the happiest weeks of our life. But a lot of the early pregnancy symptoms I missed because any kind of sensitivity or soreness in my boobs, I just put down to my recovery. I never had really sore boobs, but any particular sign that there could have been something going on, I honestly just missed it. And on that note, another question I'm always asked is if I lost the feeling in my nipples. This might be weird, but that was one of my biggest fears about having the surgery done, was that I would lose the feeling in my nipples altogether. And that fear was actually born out of, again, watching way too many YouTube videos where a lot of girls shared that they could no longer feel their nipples. I talked to my surgeon about this and he confirmed that it was a risk. It was definitely something that was possible to either have heightened sensitivity in my nipples, to lose some, or to lose all feeling in my nipples, either for a short period of time, a little bit of time, or indefinitely. It was just a risk that he couldn't say either way how it would play out. After I woke up from surgery and I peeked down my gown and I burst into happy tears like I explained, the very next thing I did was touch my boobs to see if I could feel my nipples, and I could. The sensitivity was exactly the same. I never lost any sensitivity in my boobs. It didn't change at all from what it was pre-surgery. Can I still fit my old clothes? Yes, I can. The only things that I couldn't fit after surgery were my bras, my workout bras, and bikini tops. Because pre-surgery, I was an A cup or a double A cup, and post-surgery, I'm a D cup. So obviously those things no longer fit, but my tops and dresses, those all fit better because previously I was wearing a super padded bra to try to fill out a lot of my clothing, and inside that bra I would also wear stick-on chicken fillets to try to make my boobs appear even bigger. So now I don't have to do that. I don't have to wear a bra and I can fill out those clothes. How bad are my scars? I am so happy with my scars. I followed all of my surgeon's advice pre-op and post-op, including his advice with my scars. And when he said that it was okay to start using a scar cream, I started using a scar silicone gel. But I was super inconsistent with it. You have to put it on twice a day, and honestly, most days I would just forget. So I don't know if it was particularly useful with my overall results. I do think that by the time I reach my 1 year post-op anniversary, my scars will be completely gone. One thing that I believe has helped me immensely with my general recovery overall was making sure that I was following a healthy lifestyle and choosing healthy foods to help my body heal. Many foods, including vegetables, healthy fats, and proteins, have been shown to reduce inflammation, improve immune function, promote healing, and provide the fuel necessary to aid recovery. Before surgery, after surgery, and still to this day, I follow a low-carb, high-fat keto diet. That means that I don't eat foods high in processed sugar or refined carbohydrates, all of which are highly inflammatory on the body. If you are having this surgery done, I highly recommend that pre-surgery and post-surgery you include lots of anti-inflammatory foods in your diet, so focus on things like leafy greens, eggs, fatty fish like salmon, berries, and nuts and seeds. Focus on getting lots of sleep and staying hydrated. That is really important for your overall recovery also. What was it like working out after surgery and what is it like now? I am back at F45 and I am honestly getting stronger and stronger every day. I do a mixture of cardio and resistance-based weights workouts, and that includes training my chest and upper body at times, which I love. I'm able to do so many more exercises than I was even a month after surgery. My final advice is to not rush recovery, take it at your own pace. Thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!